You think she wants tenderness, long foreplay, and talks about feelings. You think tonight you're supposed to be sensitive, attentive, and romantic again. You've already prepared the script: candles, wine, slow kisses. But what if I told you that tonight, all of that is completely out of place? That tonight, she wants something entirely different from you. That she doesn't want to love you. She wants to take you. The great Sigmund Freud himself said that two opposing forces live inside each of us. The first is a wild, primal beast that wants only one thing. I want it, here and now. This is our animal hunger for life, for sensation, for possession. The second force is a strict inner censor, raised by society, that constantly whispers, "You can't do that. You have to be a good girl. What will people think?" And 99% of the time, this censor wins. But sometimes, under the influence of the moment, the atmosphere, and most importantly, the influence of the right man, the inner beast breaks its chain. And in that moment, her body begins to speak a completely different language. A language that most men don't just fail to understand, they fear it. They see aggression where there is, in fact, the highest degree of desire. Today, we will decode that language. We're going to break down 5 clear, non-verbal signals that scream our animal nature is one. And if you don't recognize these signals, you won't just miss out on the best night of your life. You'll miss the chance to understand why awakening this instinct is the greatest compliment a man can ever receive. But I have to warn you, if you only watch halfway through, you'll only get half the truth. I'm saving the most important key for the end. So before we begin, please go ahead and like this video. And if you're new here and ready to go all the way for real knowledge, subscribe right now. And before we start, I'm curious about our geography. Please write in the comments what city you're watching from. Part 1. SIGN 1. The Predator's Gaze. A mirror to her wild essence. So the first and most obvious marker that men consistently ignore. It's her gaze. We're used to thinking that a woman in love looks into your soul. Her gaze is soft, warm, seeking eye contact. It's a look that says, "I want to be with you." But the predator's gaze says something entirely different. It says, "I want you. What does it look like in practice?" Her gaze becomes long, heavy, and she barely blinks. Her focus shifts. She's not looking into your eyes, trying to establish an emotional connection. No, her gaze starts to slide lower. First to your lips, then to your neck, shoulders, chest. She is literally scanning you, assessing you as an object of her desire. This is pure, unfiltered physiology. At this moment, the ancient parts of her brain responsible for instinct are completely dominating logic and her social. Masked. Another great psychologist, Carl Jung, spoke about this exact part of our personality. He stated that within each of us, even the most enlightened person, there is a dark, suppressed side, our shadow. This is our inner wildness, which we hide from society. And this gaze is nothing less than her shadow, her wild essence that has broken free for a moment to assess your strength. This isn't the look of a good girl. This is the look of a female selecting a mate. At this moment, a man makes a fatal mistake. He sees this assessing, almost cold gaze and thinks he's done something wrong. He gets nervous, thinking she doesn't like him, that she's judging him. He tries to lighten the mood with a joke or withdraws into himself. And in doing so, he ruins everything. Because he doesn't understand the most important thing. This isn't an exam he's failing. It's an unconscious test he has already passed. Her gaze isn't a question. It's already an answer. So, when you catch that long, studying, almost predatory gaze that glides over your body, don't look away. Don't try to joke. Hold it. Meet it with an equally long, confident gaze. Understand, The game has already begun. The hunt has begun. And she has chosen you. Your job isn't to be scared, but to show that you're ready for her rules. Part 2, SIGN 2. Tactile aggression. The language of power. The second signal is her touch. And here, a transformation just as fundamental as the one with her gaze takes place. A woman's normal, social touch is aimed at creating comfort and tenderness. It's a soft caress of the arm, a light hug, a gentle kiss. The goal of such touches is to soothe, to show affection, to strengthen an emotional bond. But when her predator instinct awakens, everything changes. Her touches become rougher, stronger, more commanding. You could call it tactile aggression, but the word aggression here carries no negative connotation. It's aggression in a biological, animal sense, an expression of strength and the desire to possess. Instead of a gentle caress on your arm, she might suddenly grip your wrist tightly. Instead of a light kiss, a deep, demanding, almost devouring kiss that doesn't ask, but demands a response. Ethologists, scientists who study animal behavior, see these displays all the time. In the wild, touch is often used to test a partner's strength. A light bite on the nape of the neck, a firm shove with the shoulder. It's not always a fight. It's often part of a mating ritual, a way to ensure the partner is strong enough to handle your energy. And a woman, without realizing it, does the same thing. Her hand gripping your bicep a little tighter than necessary, or her fingers digging into your back. This is her unconscious question. Are you strong? Can you handle me? At this moment, her hormonal backdrop changes. It's not oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, that takes center stage, but adrenaline and testosterone. She doesn't need to be soothed. She needs to be aroused. She doesn't need tenderness. She needs a challenge. She is unconsciously provoking you into a response, into matching her with masculine strength. She wants to feel your resistance, your power. She wants you to meet her firm grip with an equally firm, confident touch. And again, the typical male mistake. Feeling this rough touch, the man gets scared. He thinks he's hurting her or that she's angry. He loosens his grip, becomes soft, yielding, and starts asking if everything is okay. And at that moment, he fails the test. He shows that her strength frightens him. He demonstrates weakness where she is looking for strength. The correct response is not to loosen your grip, but to answer with the same intensity. Not to cause pain, but to show that her energy doesn't destroy you. It excites you. That you're ready to play this game on her level. Part 3, SIGN 3. The language of dominance, the voice of her inner man. The third sign is the sharpest and for many men, the most shocking. It's her speech. In a normal state, a woman uses language to build connection. Her speech is melodic, full of questions, suggestions, and softening phrases. She'll say, "Maybe we could have some more wine." Or, "I would love it if you hugged me." This is the language of partnership and cooperation. But when the predator inside her awakens, her speech center seems to switch into a different mode. Language ceases to be a tool for connection and becomes a tool of will. Her speech becomes short, clipped, and commanding. Instead of smooth, questioning intonations, you hear clear, almost order-like commands. All the maybes, "Let's try," and "if you don't minds," disappear. In their place, you get direct directives. Instead of the question, "Do you want to come closer?" you hear the command, "Come here." Instead of the request, "Kiss me, please," you get the order, "Kiss me." Instead of the suggestion, "Maybe we should take our clothes off," you get the statement, "Take this off." This is language stripped of its social veneer. It is pure, concentrated will. And this has nothing to do with humiliating the man. Quite the opposite. Carl Jung spoke of how every woman's psyche contains a so-called inner masculine part, her animus. This part is responsible for logic, action, decisiveness, and self-assertion. In everyday life, a woman rarely gives this part full control. But in moments of peak desire, when she feels completely safe with a strong man, she allows her inner man to come to the forefront. She takes on the role of the leader, relieving you of the responsibility of making decisions. She doesn't want to discuss what happens next. She has already decided. She wants you, for a moment, to stop leading and allow yourself to be led, to submit to her desire. This is the highest form of trust. She trusts your strength so much that she can afford to be strong and dominant without fearing you'll break or get scared. The biggest mistake a man can make here is to start arguing or see it as a power struggle. He starts thinking, who's in charge here? Why is she ordering me around? And tries to put her in her place. By doing this, he shatters the magic of the moment. He forces her to switch her inner sensor back on and return to her social role. The correct response is to accept her rules of the game, to submit to her command with strength and confidence, to show that her dominance doesn't humiliate you, but excites you. This is precisely the reaction her instinct is waiting for. This is the level of depth you will find in all of my videos. If this is the approach you've been looking for, now is the perfect time to subscribe. Part 4. SIGN 4. The role reversal, the act of seizing power. The fourth sign is the logical continuation of the previous three and their physical embodiment. It's the reversal of roles at the moment of physical intimacy. For centuries, social stereotypes and cultural codes have taught us that the man must be active, the leader, while the woman is passive, the receiver. But when her primal essence takes over, all those rules are thrown out the window. She initiates intimacy herself, and she does it not with hints, but with direct action. And most importantly, she immediately takes the dominant position. She wants to be on top, and this isn't just about choosing a comfortable position for physical pleasure. No, this is a symbolic act of seizing power. In this moment, she is not the object of desire, but its subject. Not the one being taken, but the one who takes by being in the dominant position. She gains complete control over the process. She sets the pace. She defines the rhythm. She controls the depth. She manages not only her pleasure, but yours as well. She transforms the process from a partnered dance into an act of temporary but total submission to her will. She looks down into your eyes, and in her gaze, there is no tenderness. There is triumph, power, and pure, animal desire. From a psychological standpoint, this is an incredibly powerful and liberating act for a woman. In her daily life, she is constantly expected to be gentle, compliant, and nurturing. The chance to, for a short time, cast off this mask and become the embodiment of pure, unbridled power is a catharsis. It is the peak expression of her life force, what Freud called libido energy, unrestricted by any social constraints. She derives pleasure not only from the physical sensations. She gets immense psychological pleasure from having power over the process, from being in control of a strong man. She sees that you, so strong and confident, are completely in her power at this moment. And this proves to her that she chose correctly, that she chose a man who is not afraid of her strength, but revels in it. What mistake does a weak man make here? He either becomes completely passive, like a log, turning her dominance into a chore, or even worse, he tries to snatch the initiative back, to fight her for control, trying to prove who's the boss here. He doesn't understand that her goal isn't to humiliate him, but to elevate him. The correct response is not to be passive, but responsive. Not to be a log, but a rock. To give her the support and resistance that allows her power to fully unfold. To be the strong object of her desire, which she conquers with pleasure. Part 5. SIG and 5, the silence after, the satisfied instinct. And now, the fifth sign, the final chord where 90% of men stumble. It's her behavior immediately after the peak of passion. We all grew up on movies where, after intimacy, the heroes lie in each other's arms, gaze tenderly, and talk about their feelings. We expect that now the talk about us, the cuddling, the tenderness will begin. But with the predator, it happens differently. Immediately after her animal hunger is sated, she may become silent, distant, almost cold. She isn't seeking hugs. She doesn't want to talk. She might turn to face the wall, or even get up and go to another room. And the man panics. His mind explodes with questions. What did I do wrong? Did she not like it? Was it bad? Did she just use me? He starts demanding attention, pushing for cuddles, asking questions, trying to get validation that everything is okay. And with this, he ruins everything again, because he's judging her state by his own male standards. He doesn't understand what's happening in her mind and body. And what's happening is this. Her primal hunger, her instinct, has been completely satisfied. The energy that was surging has found its release. Her animal self, as Freud would say, is full and has temporarily gone to sleep. The psyche and body need time to reboot. For the social mask, her inner sensor, to return to its place. This is not a sign of indifference. It is a sign of total satisfaction. She got exactly what she wanted, not emotional intimacy, but pure physical release and the assertion of her power. Her brain at this moment isn't flooded with oxytocin, but with prolactin, a hormone that induces feelings of peace and drowsiness. She doesn't need words. She needs silence to assimilate, to process the incredibly powerful experience she just had. Her silence and distance are not a wall she is building. It's a cocoon she retreats into. By trying to break through that cocoon with his questions and demands for tenderness, a man is doing violence to her state. He is showing that what's important to him is not her and her feelings, but his own ego, which requires immediate validation. The correct behavior is to give her that space, to lie there silently beside her, to simply be present, strong, calm. And in 10, 20, 30 minutes, the cocoon will open, and from it will emerge that same tender, loving woman. But it will only happen when she is ready. Conclusion. Why this is the ultimate si on peut le main so. We've broken down the 5 keys to her secret language. Her predatory, scanning gaze. Her strong, commanding touches. Her short, order-like phrases. Her drive to seize control and dominate. And finally, her distant silence afterward. Each of these signals, on its own, might seem strange or even frightening, but together they form a single, unambiguous message. And to understand why this message is the ultimate compliment, we must grasp one great paradox. The paradox is this: a woman only allows her most dangerous, wild, and primal side to show when she feels completely, absolutely, and totally safe. Imagine a wild animal like a panther. When threatened, it will either attack or hide. But only in a state of complete calm and trust will it begin to play, to show its strength, to tumble and bare its fangs without any intention of using them. Its aggressive play is a sign of the absence of fear. It's the same with a woman. Her inner predator, her wild essence, comes out not to fight you, but to play. And she only does this when, on an unconscious, animal level, she understands. This man is a rock. My strength won't scare him. My dominance won't break him. My dirty desires won't offend him. He is so secure in his own power that my power is not a threat to him, but a captivating spectacle. Understand the most important thing. These 5 signs are not tests she consciously sets up to check you. This is her involuntary reaction to you. It means you passed her most important, subconscious test before it even began. You passed it simply with your presence, your energy, your calmness. Your essence proved to be so strong and centered that her instincts got the green light. Her nature told her, with this man, it's okay. With him, you can be real. With him, it's safe to be dangerous. And this is the key difference between a strong man and a nice guy. The nice guy spends his whole life interacting only with her social mask, with her inner censor. He only sees the good girl and fears everything hidden behind that mask. But a strong man, by his very presence, gives her the silent permission to take that mask off. He becomes the catalyst that frees her shadow, as Jung called it. He gives an outlet to her animal nature, which Freud wrote about. He, and only he, gains access not just to her body or even her soul, but to her most primal essence. This is the highest form of trust, far deeper than emotional trust. Entrusting a man with your secrets and fears is one thing, but entrusting him with your uncontrollable, wild, animalistic side, the part of herself she fears and hides from the entire world, that is on a completely different level. It means she isn't trusting you with her mind, but with her instinct. And when her instinct says yes, it's the most honest answer you could ever get from her dot. So, the next time you see these signals, know this: it is not an attack on you. It's an invitation to a part of her world where only a select few are allowed entry. She wants to take you not because you are weak or convenient. On the contrary, she does it because your masculine essence is so powerful and unshakable that it awakens a corresponding primal feminine power in her. She will pity a weak man. She will appreciate a nice guy, but only a truly strong man will she want to devour. And that is the ultimate recognition. It is her instinct, her ancient nature, telling you, I recognize your strength, and I trust it so much that I am ready to show you mine. Today, we've covered how to recognize the signals of her awakened instinct. But that's only half the battle. Seeing the signal is one thing. Reacting to it correctly is something else entirely. After all, one wrong move, one display of fear or uncertainty on your part, and the predator will instantly retreat back into her cage, perhaps forever. It is precisely these correct male responses, the actions that won't extinguish this fire, but will fan it into a true flame, that we will talk about in the next video. To make sure you don't miss it, be sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell dot. And now, the main question for you. Think back to your most telling experience related to the topic of this video. Have you encountered these kinds of displays? And how did you react? Share your story in the comments. I'll pin the best ones, and the most interesting might become a topic for a separate analysis. Thank you for your time.